mention of three important women who led to the rebellion deserves special space here. Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi and Begum Hazrat Mahal of Lucknow joined the mutineers, and the Rani of Jhansi was killed in battle. Similarly, Rani Avanti Bai Lodhi of Ramgarh also gathered her army of 4,000 and fought the British. The British were outnumbered and defeated in many places, giving the common man the impression that the British rule would soon end. Many new leaders emerged who caught the imagination of the people, and all felt that it was the end of the British in India. The humiliated British were not prepared to give up that easily and soon recouped to suppress the rebellion. They brought more forces and passed new laws stating that the mutineers would be severely dealt with. Finally, the might of the British suppressed the revolt. The British had to make far-reaching changes in their administrative setup to hold on to the reins of power. But why did the revolt fail? Let us now examine the causes for the failure of the revolt. Historians believe that the revolt failed for the following key reasons. 1. It was confined to only certain pockets in the country, and many parts of India remained untouched by it, especially South India. 2. The revolt did not get support from all sections of society. Some of the princes remained loyal to the British. 3. The intellectual class did not participate in the revolt. 4. The rebels were unorganized and had not looked at an alternative for British rule in terms of institutions. 5. The mutineers did not have a strong leadership to fall back upon, though individuals like Rani Lakshmi Bai, Nana Sahib, and others managed to prolong the contest. 6. The revolters did not have modern weapons, unlike the British, and that was again a handicap for them. 7. The British had access to good communication systems, such as railways and telegraph, which the mutineers did not. Results of the revolt. The British managed to gain control over the country by the end of 1859. They realized that they could not continue with the same policies, and many far-reaching changes took place as an aftermath of the revolt. Let us look at some of the changes here. The British Parliament passed a new act in 1858, whereby the governance of the country moved directly to the British Crown from the East India Company. The British Parliament appointed a Secretary of State for India, and he was made responsible for all affairs concerning India. He was given a council to advise him, called the India Council. The Governor-General was henceforth called the Viceroy. He was considered a representative of the British Crown, and the British government accepted direct responsibility of ruling India. Rulers in India were assured that their territories would not be annexed in the future, and they could pass on their kingdoms to their heirs or adopted heirs. But they had to accept the Queen as sovereign and accept that they were subordinates to the British Crown. The proportion of Indian soldiers was decreased in the Indian Army, and more British soldiers were put in their place. The land and property of the Muslims was confiscated, and they were treated with suspicion. The British decided to respect the social and religious sentiments of Indians. Policies to protect the properties of the zamindars and landlords were passed. The big debate. Was the revolt really the first war of independence? Even to date, the controversy as to whether the mutiny could be termed the first war of independence continues to rage among historians. While British historians called it an outburst of resentment from only the soldiers and hence named it the Sepoy Mutiny, Indian historians felt that there was evidence to prove that it could be termed the first war of independence. This they substantiated with proof that it was the first time that the Indians as a group had shown their anger against policies of the British. Other scholars feel it is not so, since the motive of the soldiers was not independence. Though this debate continues, nothing can take away the fact that the mutiny had far-reaching consequences in shaping the history of India.